James Earl Carter Jr. is an American politician and humanitarian who served as the 39th President of the United States from 1977 to 1981. A member of the Democratic Party, Carter was the 76th governor of Georgia from 1971 to 1975 and a Georgia state senator from 1963 to 1967. Let us know his views expressed on various subjects through some of his famous quotes. We will not learn how to live together in peace by killing each other's children. We become not a melting pot, but a beautiful mosaic. Different people, different beliefs, different yearnings, different hopes, different dreams. War may sometimes be a necessary evil, but no matter how necessary, it is always an evil, never a good. We will not learn how to live together in peace by killing each other's children. I've looked on many women with lust. I've committed adultery in my heart many times. God knows I will do this and forgives me. You can do what you have to do, and sometimes you can do it even better than you think you can. Globalization, as defined by rich people like us, is a very nice thing. You are talking about the internet. You are talking about cell phones. You are talking about computers. This doesn't affect 2/3 of the people of the world. I'll never tell a lie. I'll never make a misleading statement. I'll never betray the confidence that any of you had in me. And I'll never avoid a controversial issue. We must adjust to changing times and still hold to unchanging principles. Like music and art, love of nature is a common language that can transcend political or social boundaries. Republicans are men of narrow vision who are afraid of the future. Unless both sides win, no agreement can be permanent. Aggression unopposed becomes a contagious disease. In this outward and physical ceremony, we attest once again to the inner and spiritual strength of our nation. As my high school teacher, Miss Julia Coleman, used to say, we must adjust to changing times and still hold to unchanging principles. When I was in the White House, I was confronted with the challenge of the Cold War. Both the Soviet Union and I had 30,000 nuclear weapons that could destroy the entire Earth, and I had to maintain the peace. We've become now an oligarchy instead of a democracy. I think that's been the worst damage to the basic moral and ethical standards to the American political system that I've ever seen in my life. We cannot be both the world's leading champion of peace and the world's leading supplier of the weapons of war. It is good to realize that if love and peace can prevail on Earth, and if we can teach our children to honor nature's gifts, the joys and beauties of the outdoors will be here forever. I have often wanted to drown my troubles, but I can't get my wife to go swimming. It's not necessary to fear the prospect of failure, but to be determined not to fail. I've used the prestige and influence of having been a president of the United States as effectively as possible. And secondly, I've still been able to carry out my commitments to peace and human rights and environmental quality and freedom and democracy and so forth, because I know about the Holy Land. I've taught lessons about the Holy Land all my life. But you can't bring peace to Israel without giving the Palestinian also peace, and Lebanon and Jordan and Syria as well. I don't claim to be knowledgeable about theology. Most of my knowledge comes out of my experience and the lessons in the Bible. Every Sunday I'm home, I teach 45 minutes, and we boil them down to one page for the new book, Through the Year with Jimmy Carter. Whatever starts in California, unfortunately, has an inclination to spread. If you're totally illiterate and living on $1 a day, the benefits of globalization never come to you. The awareness that health is dependent upon habits that we control makes us the first generation in history that to a large extent determines its own destiny. A fundamentalist can't bring himself or herself to negotiate with people who disagree with them because the negotiating process itself is an indication of implied equality. The best way to enhance freedom in other lands is to demonstrate here that our democratic system is worthy of emulation. America did not invent human rights. In a very real sense, human rights invented America. In religious and in secular affairs, the more fervent beliefs attract followers. If you are a moderate in any respect, if you're a moderate on abortion, if you're a moderate on gun control, or if you're a moderate in your religious faith, It doesn't evolve into a crusade where you're either right or wrong, good or bad, with us or against us. Heartfelt thanks to all of you for liking and sharing the video and subscribing to the channel.